So we did till the fifth one. We saw the first two lines. Yeah, we saw how all of these are negated. Deham, pranam, indriyani, chalam, buddhihi, shunyam. All of these are negated. And then those who think, those who understand this as reality, viduhu, they are bhranta bhrisham vadinah, which means they are disillusioned. They don't understand the reality. That's the first two lines. The next two lines says, Maya Shakti Vilasa Kalpita Maha Vyamoha Samharine. So all of this, where does it arise from? Let's look at the word meaning here. Maya Shakti Vilasa Kalpita Maha Vyamoha Samharine. So the one in whose this whole delusion of this Maya. Okay, what is explained here? They're deluded, yet vehemently assert their viewpoints. The inner guru destroys this great delusion created by the play of the power of Maya. So this Maya Shakti is the one that is projecting all of this. Vilasa Kalpita, abiding, this Maya Shakti which is abiding within us is the one that is projecting this whole great delusion. And the one who removes this is Dakshinamurti, the one who's the samhara of this. One who does the samhara of this, he is Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. So this Maya Shakti, what does Maya Shakti mean here? Is the perception that we carry that I am all of this. The first line. Deham pranaha indriyani chalam buddhi shunyam. All of these 6 entities, I am those. That understanding is because of this Maya Shakti that is there within us. Now, Maya is said to be the power of Brahman, or the aspect of Brahman which is prevalent in this manifest universe. It is because of the Maya Shakti this whole creation has come into being. This creation has happened because of the Maya Shakti of Brahman. Otherwise, Brahman is completely detached. It has no role to play. It's the Maya Shakti of Brahman that apparently creates all of this. As though it is created, as though it is available as a material world, that is created. Now, Maya has 2 aspects. One is called the Vikshepa Shakti and the Avarana Shakti. Avarana Shakti, Vikshepa Shakti. So, Avarana means, we know what Avarana means. Avarana is a cover. It's something that conceals. Avarana. So Maya, the Avarana Shakti of Maya is the one that conceals the reality. And Vikshepa Shakti is the one that projects. Kalpita. Kalpita is mentioned here, right? Kalpita means to project. Vikshepa Shakti means to project. So the classic example of the snake and the rope that is used in Vedanta. Right? The snake and the rope example is used. The very good examples that are used in Vedanta, very, very strong examples. One is the clay, the pot, and the potter. Right? To show the Nimitta Karana, the Upadana Karana there. And here, the snake and the rope to show how Maya Shakti is operating there. Right? So, what happens is, the basic story is that in dark, somebody is going into the jungle and he sees a rope, but he mistakes it for a snake. And the moment he mistakes it for a snake, all the fears, all the reactions that happen within him happen because he is now mistaken something to be a snake. Let's not say that he's mistaken it. He thinks that it's a snake. But then a friend besides who's carrying a torch will light the torch on that and he'll see, let's see if is it a snake. And then he'll see, hey, it doesn't look like a snake, it looks like a rope. So what has happened here? The friend has shown him the reality of the rope. And the moment the reality of the rope is seen, the mistaken identity of the snake goes away. So the process that has happened here is initially, the reality that it's a rope has been concealed. So that is the Avarana Shakti of Maya. The reality of the rope has been concealed from his eyes. The Vikshepa Shakti is the projection that it is a snake has happened on the rope. And when such a projection happens, it happens in its entirety. Which means it will never be that when he's mistaking it for a snake, he will never see half snake, half rope, or 3/4 of a snake and quarter of a rope. When the mistake happens, it is entire. It's complete. See, that is why in this Purnamada Purnamidam shloka, it's very beautiful shloka. Purnamadaha Purnam Idam. So here what you experience is this world, although it is Maya, it is also Purna. It is complete. Maya is completely effacing this whole manifest world. Purnat Purna Mudachyate, from the Purna comes Purna, because from that reality which is Brahman, from the Adaha, from that Purna comes this Purna. And if you take out Purna from the Purna, which means you remove this manifest world from Brahman, what remains? Brahman alone remains. Purnat Purnam Udachyate, Purnasya Purnam Adaya, Purnam Adaya. You take out Purnam from Purnam, Purnam Eva Avashishyate. Purnam only remains. So this whole manifestation of Maya is such that it is very difficult to understand the underlying reality, because Maya is completely concealed. It is completely concealed. Conceal mattum manala. It's like saying, I put a screen here. I put a screen. That's the reality. I put a screen. I not only put a screen, I also run a movie on the screen. I'm projecting a movie on the screen. So what I see, my perception is that movie is the reality. Because if Maya doesn't do Vikshepa, if it doesn't project, and if it just shows a blank screen or conceals the reality, I will be intrigued to find out what is behind the screen. I run the movie, then I'm engrossed in the movie. Right? I'm engrossed in the movie. I have no intent. Then when I'm engrossed in the movie, I don't have a feeling to go and let me see behind the screen. I'm so engrossed in the movie that I'm caught up in it. That is why only those who are somewhere, they feel they get tired of the movie, they are the ones they start inquiring. See, the inquiry always is the first step into the spiritual path. This inquiry that let me figure out, I am tired of this movie. I figured out that things are happening again and again and again. It's repeating. It's repeating itself in several different ways, in several different situations. I feel like I'm going through the same thing in life. And many lifetimes. When that happens, we come to a certain, correct. Kalpakaji is saying those who are restless and feel that the movie itself is boring. That is true. A lot of people realize it's so boring. What you're experiencing as life is so boring. And when you become, Hindi lo term oob jana, you become completely porum porum. Enoda guru sollar or paatu paduvaru Madurai Meenakshi mele podum amma podum undan vilayattu appdin solli, it's a very beautiful song. Podum amma podum தாய்கள் எத்தனை, தந்தையர் எத்தனை, அண்ணன் எத்தனை, தம்பி எத்தனை, மனைவி எத்தனை, அது மாதிரி. சோ எத்தனை 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 போதும் அம்மா போதும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பாடுவார் அவரு. அப்புறம் அவர் சொல்லுவார், இங்க மனசுல இருந்து ரத்தம் வரணும், ரத்தம் வந்து அது மாதிரி பாடணும், போரும் அம்மா, போரும் போரும், எனக்கு போரும், இது உன்னோட விளையாட்டு போரும், ஷோ மீ த ரியல் யூ அப்படின்னு சொல்லி the heart should weep out அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவார் அவர். அண்ட் of course அவரது கேட்டிருக்கீங்க, அது அந்த அவரோட the way he sings is really beautiful. So that is the experience where one goes through this. போரும் எனக்கு போரும் enough, I've had enough of this relationships, life and people and all that. Yes, there is some meaning to it, there is something, but clearly that's not everything. Then you are tired of the movie, now you want to see this movie is running on something அப்படிங்கிறது ஒரு we get a sense, because we see that everything is changing, but there is something that is not changing. It's our inner experience. We realize everything is changing, but the one who's perceiving, I am not changing. There are some things that don't change. So now I investigate into what is it that is not changing. So that is when the whole spiritual journey begins. So the moment you inquire, the moment you realize that you have this yearning to know more than this experience of this world, then you are an adhikari already. You become eligible on the spiritual path, because that fire of inquiry itself will show the path. Fire has two qualities, it will burn and it will also show light. So the fire that will burn in the form of inquiry, that is the Agni, Jnana Agni in Cholum, it's called as the Agni of knowledge. When that shines or that it burns off desires, lower desires, which is why Agni always burns upwards. And anything that you put into it will burn and go down. So anything below it, it will burn. And the desire to know, the desire to understand, the desire to grow higher than the physical realm will be kindled. And who shows the light? That fire itself shows the light, because fire has the property of light. And that is the Guru. So back to our example, the friend who is showing the torch on that rope is none else than the Guru. When you're walking in the forest and you get frightened by looking at a rope thinking a snake, the friend lights a torch. He'll say, hey, look at it, it's not a snake, it's merely a rope. And then the friend will also go all the way to pick up the rope and show, see, I'm lifting it, it's just a rope, not a snake. This is what the Guru does. And the Shastras and the Master's words, these come through them, through their own experience, through their complete understanding of the reality. They are able to show that torchlight. Right? So, correct. He unveils the ignorance. So just by lighting that torch, he unveils the ignorance that of the mistaken identity. So here he is saying, Maya Shakti Vilasa Kalpita Maha Vyamoha Samharine. So who's the one? That Guru is Dakshinamurti. Samharine, he removes, unveils, he removes that ignorance in who? In me. First thing is I should know that I'm ignorant. The first step in spiritual sadhana or spiritual path is to recognize that I don't know. I don't know is a great possibility. I know shuts doors, because you've made conclusions already. I know this, I know that, I know that. Yeah, I have seen Vedanta nariya ketirkenna appadina, the people who speak like that. People speak like that, right? Ane Vedanta la nariya poiruken, nariya ketirken, but it's not gone in. So what happens if they're merely words? So the ability to say that every time I listen to this, every time I'm exposed to this, every time I contemplate upon this, nididhyasana, Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam, Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam, Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam, etana tharo panno? Infinite times. There is one, I had been to an ashram in Kerala. It is called Anand Ashram. There was a Swamiji who was giving a discourse. And there were some European disciples who would come to that ashram regularly. And they've been coming there for many, many years. So on that particular day in the discourse, after the discourse, Swamiji said, let's keep it open for discussion. So when he opened it up for discussion, there's one gentleman, he was from Germany, a very devout gentleman who used to come to the ashram regularly for 20, 30 years. So he was asking the Swamiji, Swamiji, I've been coming and doing these things for so many years. How do I know when will I attain realization? How would I know when that will happen? Swamiji gave a very interesting answer. I like that response. He said, you are drilling a hole into the wall. Now, you don't know the thickness of the wall. You are drilling to get to the other side of the wall. Now, you don't know what the thickness is. You keep drilling. At some point, you become tired. I keep drilling, it's not getting anywhere. But maybe that drilling has brought you so close. When you're getting tired and giving up, maybe you're just this far from drilling a little bit and you'll get the other side. You don't know. So all you have to do is keep drilling. That's the only thing we can keep doing. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. That is all we can do. The rest of it is not in our hands. It's not like that. Right? So in this path, there is no material, there is no comparison of that kind. Because at what each stage each one is very different, and we don't know what the thickness of our wall is. Whatever our thickness of the wall, we don't know. Our wall can be very thick. We may think we are very, we've attained a certain maturity or whatever, but it's for the world to know and see and say. Right? So the ability to break through this, and again, Krishna has clearly mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita saying, Mama Maya Duratyaya. Maya, Mama Maya, my Maya is insurmountable. Duratyaya, it is insurmountable or unsurmountable. Which means it is very difficult to get across. But with the grace of the Guru, and as I said, the Guru could be a person outside, need not be a person outside. Essentially, it is the fire that burns from within. And all we have to do is keep fueling that fire. Through Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Keep fueling that fire. And that fire will burn the lower tendencies and give light to higher pursuits, to the higher possibilities. So I don't know is where we begin. And then as we go through this path, that fire, that I don't know, the ignorance itself, Ramana Maharshi, or example in this context, he'll say, his methodology is who am I? Evaluation, inquiry through who am I? Right? So he will say that how do you get to that point where you're completely dissolving yourself? He'll say very beautifully, you burn a body on the pyre, on a log of logs of wood. You put the body. When you have to burn it, you put a lot of logs and you burn the body. And when you actually burn it, if you look at the people who do the burning, if you go to Kashi, you can see these things at the various ghats. They will use a log of wood to prod and keep making sure that it burns. So he says the who am I thought, or the inquiry, or the vichara, atma vichara, is like that log of wood with which you're burning every other thought and tendency. what do you do at the end of it? When everything is burnt, in the log of wood also is thrown into that fire. So the thought that I am the one who's inquiring will also go away. And that is complete realization. I am the one meditating, I am the one inquiring, I am the one, that will also go away. But you need that. You need that to burn everything else. Till then you need that. After everything is burnt, this also log is thrown into that fire and that burns. All that remains is fire and ash at the end of it. Shunya or Purna, whichever side you want to see. Right? So that is the shloka. Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Okay. So we are up on the time. We will not start the new one today. We will start the next one next week. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I take leave.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om, Guruji.
Hari Om ji. Thank you.
Thank you.